Hello everyone, welcome back to another NFL video. In this video, I'll be giving my NFL Week 6 predictions, so let's get into it. Thursday night, Commanders-Bears already happened, so I will talk about that game in my recap. I did have the Bears winning though. Now on to Sunday, the Ravens and the Giants. I will pick the Ravens, however, if the Giants win, I'll officially finally be convinced in the Giants. I am convinced in Brian Daboll, but not really in the Giants roster. Saquon Barkley is, and Brian Daboll are the only two guys I really trust there. But I will be sold on them if they win, but I do have the Ravens winning. The Jaguars and the Colts then. Even though I did pick the Jaguars to win in week 2, I'm going to pick the Colts this time. So, I don't feel like I'm kind of, sleeping on Jacksonville. I did have them beating the Colts the first time, which was not that long ago at this point. But I will have the Colts win this one. I feel like they'll get their revenge. They won't lose twice in a row. Jacksonville came off a really bad week. Indianapolis, building off some success now, at 500. I mean, kind of 2-2-1. Patriots and the Browns. I think they're in very similar tiers. I will have the Browns win. Now, I do think I have the Patriots. the Patriots did win last week. The Browns did lose last week, and then obviously the Patriots did win last year when these two teams played, destroyed them actually. But this time I will have the Browns winning. I still think the Browns are a little bit better of a team, even though I believe they're in about the same tier. Nick Chubb has been playing like a madman. Even though the Patriots with Bailey Zapp have looked probably even better than the Patriots with Mac Jones at quarterback. For the Bengals and the Saints, pretty tight matchup I would predict, but I will have the Bengals winning. Even though the Bengals offense hasn't always looked good, the Saints defense has looked pretty much bad in every game I remember this season. I don't think will hold up enough. So, and then on the other side, the Saints offense has been surprisingly productive without Winston. Which it's not like he's very good, but he's their best QB on the roster, better than Dalton. And Kamara missed some games as well. Landry missed some games, at least one. Michael Thomas missed, I believe, now 2 games, but they're still looking really good on offense. Buccaneers and the Steelers. The Buccaneers, I will say I'm not sold on, as I've said now, like a lot, but I do think it'll be the Steelers. Steelers, maybe they'll rebound eventually in this season, but right now they're in a really bad spot. Kenny Pickett, I think it's his time to start. He is starting. I think it's good timing there. But second straight good defense he's playing in a row. Pittsburgh, I just don't see winning. I mean, their defense, can't keep them in games. And against the Bucs offense, I think it really was possible. It really would be possible to stay in the game because their offense has not looked very good. But Pittsburgh defense has not been performing, and their offense, I don't see getting past the very good, besides one game this season, Buccaneers defense. 49ers and the Falcons. The Falcons have played nice. Their offense is pretty underrated, but 49ers defense is locked down. I believe right now rated as the number 1 defense in the National Football League. I still think they'll win this game comfortably, even though Atlanta's the home team. I just don't see the Falcons winning. I don't see them holding up enough. Even the 49ers offense with Garoppolo instead of Lance has looked really good as well. Without Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson having a good season so far as well for them. So I don't see the Falcons. I don't see any way where the Falcons could actually win this game. So the 49ers should get off to another win, which should get them on a good road towards hopefully for them winning the division. The Jets and the Packers. This game is in Lambeau Field. I would not trust the Jets to win. I can see the Jets offense putting up a fight against the Packers defense. I don't really know if that will happen, but I would see their defense playing pretty nice on the Packers. Not very, let's say lackluster offense. Let's just say lackluster is a word to define them currently. I think they'll eventually get things together. I think they're better now than when the season started. They're figuring things out. They've had some things work, had some things get shut down. They have to be a better second half team. Against Tampa Bay, they didn't do anything in the second half. Against the Giants, they didn't do enough, and they clearly lost. So you have to step that up. Their defense has been playing well enough. Even though the run defense has been getting exposed. The Jets came off a great win, so I will not count the Jets out of this game. Clearly they are pretty talented, but I will pick the Packers. Vikings and the Dolphins. Very interesting game to predict here. I will have the Vikings win. The Dolphins without Tua have not looked the same. Now have Skylar Thompson. Bridgewater was supposed to be their guy. Now Skylar Thompson, filling in for the Bridgewater injury, which was following up the Tua injury. So the Vikings, their defense has looked underwhelming, but the Dolphins offense, I don't see having much of a good game. Mostert was really the only guy I think that had a good game last week. I mean, Tyreek Hill had a lot of, short receptions. So I do think the defense will play well enough, and the offense defense also has been blowing it. I think these two teams have been very similar in the past few years. Coaches that just haven't gotten it done enough. Even though Brian Flores was solid, just winning seasons, but not playoff seasons, even though I think he was a good head coach. Mike Zimmer, really good when he started his career with the Minnesota Vikings, at least as a head coach. Well, at least, actually, I don't know when he was hired, but, they had some really good years, especially on defense. He ran that defense, but, some years just couldn't do enough to get in the playoffs, and their defense was terrible. Now, both the teams also have had a lot of talent on defense and still looked pretty bad. And offense, they've looked, whatever, Vikings offense probably better in other years. But, and I will have the Vikings win this game. Panthers and the Rams. As bad as the Rams have been playing, I don't see them somehow dropping a game to the Panthers. When in their first game with a new head coach and new defensive coordinator. So the Panthers defense, I think, has been has a lot of talent. Was really good last year, but I just don't see them doing much. I mean, I don't think they've been doing good enough this season, so far, obviously, to even to have them in games. Their offense obviously is terrible. So, the Rams offense struggling, it is, but Cooper Kupp will probably still do his thing no matter how many people are covering him. And I don't expect a good game from them, but I expect the Rams offense to kind of play like a Cowboys offense, right? With Cooper Rush, where they don't really play amazing, but they score in the low 20s, mid 20s. Their defense is enough to win the game, and I think the Rams defense should definitely lock down the Panthers offense with it looks like PJ Walker playing. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. I will pick the Seahawks. They've definitely done enough to convince me that they can beat the Cardinals, who I thought would be better than them in this division. Now, I do think both offenses are playing pretty okay. Well, I say okay, like kind of on average of both those teams. Really, I think it's if we're comparing both of those offenses, it's really the Cardinals offense kind of taking it down, because I think the Seahawks offense has been more than okay. I think it's been a good offense. The Cardinals, pretty much what I expected. So in this game, even though I think the Cardinals offense will definitely do enough, will definitely do a lot of good damage on the Seattle defense, which is bad for Seattle. I think their offense will make a couple extra plays. The Seattle offense, that is, and both defenses are pretty bad. The Cardinals defense is definitely a little bit better, but I don't see them making an extra play here to win this game. So I do see the Seahawks offense making an extra play to win them the game. The Bills and the Chiefs. This game should have been prime time, but it is not. Another installment of the Bills Chiefs. Not really a rivalry. But the NFL has existed for a really long time. I get. They've had a lot of games in the past couple of years, but that's only a couple of years out of like 100 of the NFL existing. I think the Chiefs were here since 1960. Not sure about the Bills, but I will have the Bills winning. The Chiefs are a good team, obviously. The Bills obviously are also a good team, but great team. So both teams are probably feeling nice right about now. They had a loss, both teams, in week 3, but found ways to get past that, as they are very good teams, very good coach teams as well. Chiefs probably being the best coach team in the National Football League. So I will have, even though I do think the Bills will win, obviously there is a good chance the Chiefs win. They've had pretty much the edge in that rivalry so far. Rivalry, you see the quotations. Both offenses are really good. Both defenses, let's see if Tre'Davious White plays. I don't think he will, because that was a huge, missing piece last year for the Bills when they played the Chiefs in the playoffs in the divisional round. So do I think the Bills defense will let what happened last year happen against the Chiefs in the postseason? No, but the Chiefs offense is really hard to stop. I know it's the Buffalo defense, but I'm still expecting an offensive shootout. Even though the Bills have a way better on talent defense, I think they'll pretty much, on paper defense. I'm pretty sure both teams will have similar performing defenses here, but and also similar performing offenses, with the Bills winning by a few, let's say 3 to 7 points. Now Sunday night, we have a very good game. The Cowboys at the Eagles. The Eagles are the only undefeated team in the league. How amazing would it feel for the Cowboys to not give them the first loss, knock them off that win column for the first time this season? I will, even though I expect this to be a very interesting game that I'm looking forward to this week, I will still pick the Eagles. Not going to do anything bold here. I'm going to pick the undefeated team to win. I do think they're better. I do think they'll win, actually, but of course, I'm not really sold on this. The Cowboys defense look really good. The Philly offense, Hurts has been kind of slowing down. I'd say at least passing the ball, but their offense still is doing enough to win games. Their defense looking very good. This should definitely be a very good game, which will obviously tell us a lot. I still think whoever loses is still a good team. Both teams are still very good, but one of them has to win. Maybe whoever wins this game will win the division. We will see. It's still a long way to go. Monday night, Broncos Chargers. No way I'm picking the Broncos on primetime, not Monday Night Football. Any primetime game. The Chargers, I don't think, are a very good team, but they should definitely do enough to beat the Broncos. Broncos offense is not good. Their defense looks solid, more than solid, good. The Chargers offense has looked very, very good. Eckler been getting his, great production back after a couple of off weeks, and Herbert has just been looking very good this season, as I hate to admit. But they should definitely walk away with a win. mean, I don't really see it being close. Well, I see it being a boring game. I mean, I guess maybe on the Broncos side, but I don't see the Chargers not showing up in this game. You know, I'm sorry, the Chargers. I don't see the Chargers not showing up in this game. I think the Chargers will definitely play some good ball. So I'm expecting the Broncos to not play that much of good ball. That's why I'm thinking there'll be a pretty nice 2-possession, 14-point win, maybe something like that for the Chargers. Also, the 4 team, on a bye week this week would be the Raiders at 1-4, the Texans at 1-3-1, the Lions with a 1-4 record, and the Titans at a 3-2 record. You know, the Raiders and Texans playing in week 7 after their bye weeks. So anyway, that was my NFL Week 6 predictions. I'm Martin. Thank you for watching.